Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the special Groundhog Day edition of Robeytech. I'm your host, Justin Robey. Good day, everybody. Welcome to the special edition Groundhog's Day of Robeytech. I am your host, Justin Robey. I'm just kidding. What's up, guys? It's good to see you guys. It's good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I saw my shadow, and it says we're going to have another 2 years of overinflated prices on PC parts. So, sorry that I didn't see my shadow. I just basically, anyway. For a few of those, I was actually muted. Yeah, I know. It's all good. Hey, and 60 stream streak from DJ Tech now, dude. So that's actually pretty cool. Guys, welcome. I'm really excited about today's stream. We'll get more into that here in a minute, but you guys, you know me, I always like to get into the little things we got to cover beforehand. First and foremost, do not forget to link your Stream Elements account to your Twitch account, so that way you're earning points towards that PC giveaway we're doing in partnership with Falcon Northwest and the folks over at Corsair. We're giving away this frag box. It's right here in front of me. That's a $5,000 pack between them and Corsair. This PC is absolutely amazing. Core Ultra 265/whoop, and it's dead. Okay, it is Groundhog's Day already. 265/. We just need to replace this cable, I think.
Well, I think it was fine, like when we tested before the stream.
Nah, I think we need to get a new cable. Let's just get a new cable. So 265/RTX 5080. We're giving you this PC away. Really excited about it. So in partnership with Falcon Northwest and Corsair, and with Corsair you get that Vanguard keyboard and that beautiful Saber 2 Pro mouse. So this is the PC that we're going to basically be giving away. We got a couple weeks left before we're doing that, so make sure you link your account and then you can be entered to win. So that is the first part. So we're going to be getting that. So hopefully you're getting that linked up and good to go. Okay, so let's talk about today's build. So building a budget build in 2026 has been rough in general. So what we've been doing is, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you've looked over at Robeytech.com, and I know we've been highlighting this a while, but we have been slowly building our presence in terms of building out budgets for helping people stay into PC DIY. And it has grown tremendously from where it was like a couple weeks ago. Not only do we have DDR5 deals, but we have PC DIY. We also have pre-builts. We're showing graphics cards, all this stuff. So we're literally scouring the internet, trying to find the cheapest deals on PC builds. And so that's where it's kind of starting. Now for us, what we've done is we've seen a couple trends when it comes to PC DIY. And the focus today is to talk about a build that in general we've seen when you use either this case or the Phanteks M3 case, you can actually build a pretty good, around $1,000-ish PC with 16 gigabytes of DDR5, 1 terabyte NVMe drive. Usually it's a 9060 XT. And then the last part about it is it'll be usually a 9600X. So today's focus is we have a build. And this build, what I want you to do is, when you look at the parts that are inside of this build, don't necessarily use the parts list. Go to robeytech.com/deals, look at the DDR5, look at the NVMe, look at the GPUs, and then you can kind of piece together a build that is going to be less expensive. I think this one right now is like, I think it came out to like $1,400. By the way, actually, you know what? Honestly, go ahead and go to our thing. By the way, it's back. So you can just go to February 2026 and all of our parts lists are all there, and we're now putting them back up on the site. So this one is $1,425. That is because the Kingston RAM and the NVMe are a little bit more expensive than what they typically could be, and you could save some money by choosing less expensive components. So that's all back up, but all the stuff that I'm trying to tell you is do a little shopping. More than likely this case, and it'll be inside of a case like this, or the Phanteks, which is about $60. It comes with all the fans. And then, of course, then you can put the cheapest GPU, motherboard, all that stuff inside of it. And then you can use this video to go and follow along and build it with us. Zenu, thank you very much for the 10 gifted subs. You're a rock star. So when we said that this is a budget build, think of this as a guideline. That's really what we're doing, is we're showing you, hey, the case, you're gonna do a B650 motherboard, you're more than likely gonna do a 9600X, and you're gonna do a 9060 XT, and you're gonna be able to build the least expensive PC that you can with modern components. Now, of course, if we look at DDR4, if you go over to robeytech.com/deals, we already have deals that are on DDR4 PCs that are sub $1,000 with like Core i5 12100Fs and B580s, and they use DDR4 RAM, and you can save quite a bit of money using DDR4. But again, we're trying to give you modern platform and then DDR4 platforms as well. So that is the focus of today's build, is to try and make the most budget-ish version of a PC that we can. So, and again, if you're following along, please make sure that you go to robeytech.com/deals and find the least expensive components. Don't use this right here, the parts list that we've built, because they're not going to be the cheapest. Right now, the cheapest, it varies from day to day, and it is wildly crazy how much things can swing from a day-to-day basis. So that's kind of how it goes. And again, DMAT, thank you for the 500 bits. So, and please don't, the term budget is not, right now, the term budget doesn't exist in PC building in general. Like, you can do, like, if you're talking about $200 or $300 or $500 builds, those are a time where you might be able to do those with DDR4. But DDR4, like 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM is $239 now. It's not as cheap as it was either. Again, prices, especially with NVMe cards and stuff like that, it is wildly crazy. So when I use the term budget, I'm talking about least expensive modern components, okay? And that's how it's gonna go. If you do it right, Robey, how long can you make a PC last without upgrading? So when you think about, so most people when they purchase PCs, they're usually looking at the average upgrades time is somewhere between the 5 to 7 year mark. That's what an average person has a tendency to go in there. And so when we look at 5 to 7 years, it gets really hard. I think one of the things we talked about is, like, you know, nowadays, like, I think if I was gonna go and build a PC, I'd do a 14700K, I do 32 gigs of 3200 mega transfer RAM, I'd more than likely, I'd try to do a 1 terabyte NVMe, but I'd throw like a 5 or 8 terabyte HDD in there. I do a PSU, wow, that hurt. Do an HDD in there and all that sort of stuff. So it'd be very different than what we did, like, say, for instance, even 6 months ago. But yeah, most people are looking to 5 to 7 years. And if you really tried, I think at 1440p, 5070, 5070 Ti, 9070, 9070 XT would do pretty good. These cards, the one that we're doing here, 1080p for 5 to 7 years would be completely reasonable with a 9060 XT if you wanted to. If you had a choice between the RTX 5070 Ti or the 9070 XT for 4K gaming, what is the opinion? Are these cards reliable at this point? Okay, so here's my deal, Rainbow. Though neither one of the... Oh. Okay. Neither one of those cards are very good for 4K. They can 4K game, but they are not ideal 4K gaming GPUs. If I was going to make a choice between the two of them, the 5070 Ti is going to be the best option because the upscaling technology of that is better than that of the 9070 XT, which is what you'll definitely need to be able to do upscaled be able to do gaming at 4K. So if I was going to choose between the two of those for 4K, I would do the 5070 Ti over the 9070 XT. Ideally, if I were you, Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee, I would choose a 1440p monitor and go 1440p because those GPUs will last significantly longer at 1440p than they will at 4K. Yeah. It's just you're gonna have to change settings and all that sort of stuff. But that's where I'd go from there. I used to do a wholesale PC upgrades every 3 years, but no more. Yeah, BVM McDaniel, it's a very different time. And honestly, I mean, the other thing too is, like, here, let's jump back over here to the website real quick. When you look at the deals, guys, look at this. Here's a deal. So you look at this PC DIY, your sub $1,000 PC DIY builds. Here's a $1,000 build for PC DIY. It's an i3 12100, it's got 16 gigs of DDR5 6000 inside of a Antec XT-M3, and it's got an Intel Arc B580. When you go to here though, and you look at pre-built PC deals, here's a Ryzen 7 9060 with a terabyte and 16 gigs of DDR5 for $1,100. Here is a i5 14400F with a B580 1 terabyte for $1,000, and that's got 32 gigs of DDR5. Here's an i5 with the 5060 with 1 terabyte, and that's $999.99. Because of the deals that because of the bulk rate and purchase rate of some of these companies, the pre-built options are usually your best bet now to get more for your more bang for buck, and it used to be the opposite way. But because they can buy things at bulk for NVMe and DDR5 and DDR4, they're able to get better pricing, which then because you're doing one-off from Amazon or Newegg or anything like that, you're not able to get the same level of deal, and now it's not near the savings that you used to be able to get when you used to be able to build it yourself. Hey Justin, I want a website to send a question your way in case it gets lost here. Where would the 5700X pair with the 5070 Ti with 32 gigs at 32 DDR4? Yes. No, at 1440p, that's a great combination. 5700X and a 5070 Ti would be great with 32 gigs of DDR4. You're okay, Taylor. I'm trying to think. There was somebody else who was asking questions. Trying to think, did I miss any other questions? So anyway, when we think about today's build and we're doing the build today, think of it as guidelines. Again, go over to robeytech.com/deals, find the cheapest DDR5, find the cheapest motherboard, and then the cheapest NVMe, and then use those instead, and this will bring the cost of this build overall down. I asked about V. I don't know what V means. Can you ask the question again in need of temperance, and then we'll get ready to go through parts here in a second. I'm trying to think of this if everybody else says hi. Trying to see if there's any other questions, and then we'll get started on going through parts list. Hopefully this is helpful. That's what we want to do. And we'll try to do a couple of these. V from Cyberpunk. I don't know what that means. It was streams ago. V-Sync, G-Sync, and FreeSync. So in need of temperance, we actually have the answer to that question coming out this week. So we'll actually answer that question. But the short of it is, pairing I think the question you ask is, do you need to pair your GPU with the appropriate sync technology? And the thing is, because of VesaSync and how FreeSync is usually card agnostic, it doesn't necessarily mean as much anymore, given that they've lapsed the compatibility. So if it's G-Sync capable, etc. So for the most part, it's actually way less. It's way less of an issue than it used to be. So you can totally use AMD with an NVIDIA and still have. They're usually AMD FreeSync anyway. So, hey, cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking through the parts. So first and foremost, for case, and the case is actually going to be very, very similar in terms of installation. If you end up choosing the Fantex, then we actually have a live stream with Fantex. We'll make sure that we can link that somewhere, but you can go and just search on Robeytech Live, and you could actually follow along there as well. But it'll usually be between this case and the Antec Flux M. Both of these cases end up being about $59. This one's, I think, $59 without a coupon, and then the Fantex one drops from $69 to $59 pretty regularly. But again, really, really great case. Lots of cooling options. You have 360 millimeter at the bottom. The one thing I like about the Flux M versus the Fantex is this actually includes the 3 bottom fans as well. So you actually get a total of 6 fans for $59 versus on the Fantex, but it's a little bit of a chinsier case than what you got on the Fantex option. But again, we tested thermals, all that sort of stuff. It's got the same kind of constraints in terms of building it as the Fantex case does, the XT-M3. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do our build inside of the Flux M for today. So starting with our CPU, the CPU we're using is the AMD Ryzen 5 9600X. Before you ask the question, the 7600X, around the same price. They're all kind of around the same price. We're going to choose something that's a little bit easier to cool. 7600X is a little bit harder to cool, so where we might spend a little bit more on CPU, which, like we're talking about, like maybe $5, and sometimes it's actually the 7600X is more expensive. We're going to save on the overall cooling cost. So we're going to be able to do the Ryzen 5 9600X. We're going to be able to cool that with the Assassin's X120 Refined SE ARGB, and this is a $17 cooler. So much less expensive cooler. Very easy to install, and we have plenty of airflow inside of this case with 6 fans to make sure that it's fed more than well enough. So that's what we're going to be doing there. Now, in terms of the MOBO, we're going to be using a Micro ATX B650. So this is going to be one of those that you're going to want to look for the best deal in terms of the motherboard. This one actually has been on sale relatively recently, but again, where I've seen some of the best deals on Micro ATX motherboards has been in ASRock. ASRock, again, they've done a lot of fixes with their BIOSes and stuff like that, so they probably have the most up-to-date BIOSes of any of the Micro ATX B650 or B850 boards. So just looking for your best deal here. We've seen them as cheap as $99. But this one we're going to use is the B650 M-A Wi-Fi from MSI. And again, for the installation, I'll make sure I call out the specific connections we're connecting to. So if you're following along and you're watching this video, but you're using a different different motherboard, you should still be able to figure out where to plug these things in. Yeah, this is an older motherboard, but again, guys, this is kind of where we are on budget builds right now. I had a 9600X before I got my 7800X 3D. I went from Zen 5 back to Zen 4, but still picked up some FPS. 7800X 3D is technically it's Zen 5, dude. 7800X 3D is Zen 5. And it's on a Zen 5 motherboard. They're the same. Zen 4 is the 5000 series was the end of Zen 4. So in other words, I understand you went to a 7800X 3D and you went to X3D over, but it was still Zen 5, just so you know. Yeah, why did the turtle cross the road to get to the Shell station? That makes sense. That's why I would cross the road for sure. Okay, so there is that. Now, here's another one that you're gonna look at what you can get for the best price. Right now we have the, I'm gonna remember the name of this just by looking at the site here. And even I'm gonna use the site. So NVMe, if we're gonna look at SSD deals, right now the XG 7000 1 terabyte is $152.99. I think this one might be, I think this one's a little bit, it's $164. So yeah, again, you can save 10 bucks if you went with the XG 7000. In this case, we're gonna use the Viper VP 4300 Lite 1 terabyte. Again, most of the ones you're gonna look at are not gonna have DRAM. They're gonna be less expensive. Oh, actually there's a Lexar for $134.99. So actually you could even save another 20 bucks if you head over to robeytech.com/deals. But the build that we're going to use today is specifically using this. Changing the NVMe drive, the installation process for this will be exactly the same. So very, very easy, straightforward thing for him. Hey, Robey, is there anything particular 9060 XT 16 gig models that you would suggest? NATO. Honestly, for 9060 XT 16 gigs, I mean, honestly, I think you're in pretty good shape across the board. I don't think there's any I wouldn't suggest. How about that? Araxis, at this point in time, getting NVMe. I think the one thing is, like, we have to be really cautious. Let's set expectations in terms of what we're talking about here. We're talking about budget. When we talk about budget, this is about getting the most for the absolute least amount of money. So when you're talking about DRAM isn't even in the conversation at this point in time. And I'll be honest, I think DRAM is gonna be a luxury that most people can't afford. I wouldn't be surprised if we're now, and we're getting really close to that, when you're looking at, I have 1 terabyte NVMe's that are close to $200. And you're talking about the Furies are almost $400. So all of a sudden when you're talking about DRAM NVMe drives, I just feel like that is gonna be a thing. So I just think that that's a thing that is kind of not something we really have as part of the conversation anymore. Yeah. So anyway, that's one right there. So anyway, this is the point I'm going in there. So if you're looking for 1 terabyte, there are one thing I think Araxis's point more than anything is just about the brand in general. I know there's some concerns because, I mean, obviously XG 7000 from KingSpec and Lexar aren't stuff that we've used a ton of. So there could be, it's just saying he's from the Patriot brand might be about another way to kind of think about it from general. But anyway, that is our NVMe. And again, head to robeytech.com/deals. Go and find the cheapest one and use that. I think you're gonna hear me say that quite a bit, but I need to hammer that in as you're watching this video. For our GPU, we're using, this is actually a 16 gig model. Yes, so this is a AMD Radeon RX 9060 XT. In terms of, this is probably going to be a luxury in general again. Again, we're gonna show you something in terms of installation and stuff like that, but more than likely, you're probably gonna end up picking up an 8 gig model. We do have GPUs over at robeytech.com/deals. So if you wanted to see what it is, let's see what we got for deals for GPUs at this point in time. On the 9060 side, you're looking at $439.99 for the ASRock Challenger. You can get an ASRock Challenger 9070 for $629.99, and then the 9070 XT, and then it looks like 5070 for $649. Yeah, I mean, all in all, like it's just kind of a rough time. But even this one, I think this $439.99, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, this is a 16 gig. So yeah, there you go, 16 gig 9060 XT. So whatever is the cheapest. So that would be the cheapest right now. is the ASRock Challenger Radeon RX 9060 XT. Would be kind of the cheapest one from them. Yeah. And, oh, and by the way, somebody said that 5070 deal that we had up on there actually comes with a 750 watt PSU. So $649.99 for that's actually a pretty good deal. I missed that, Tom. Okay, so anyway, there we go. Here it is. He's showing it right here. This one right here is like, and you might be watching this later. Oh, never mind. That deal's gone. Guess what? This is what we're talking about. It's gone already. It's gone already, Mr. Tom. So there we go. Yeah, that was why it was a good day. Blink and it's gone, which is why we're updating them all the time. So, okay, so heading back onto the deal side and going from there. This is why we said you're just gonna have to look. He had to tell us in chat. I know, I'm so sorry. Okay, so last part is obviously 750 watt PSU. This is something you can totally save money on. PSUs are not, we haven't seen an impact. There has been some notes that we might see just because of supply chain issues, PSUs goes up. I'm choosing this one specifically because it can look better. If you're trying to save money, Thermaltake 750 watt, their PSUs have a tendency to be the best kind of we've seen bang for buck. And then when if you want to go a little bit more polished, the RM750E or the Tough Gaming 750 watt are great options there. But if you want to save money, that's where it is right here. So yeah, I love the GPU market right now. Yeah, I'm Chris. You're one of the few people, I'd have to say. So anyway, these are the parts that we're putting inside of this build. Let's go ahead and show parts list here real quick, Brian. Now, when I look at this, again, guys, the key parts here are 9600X. Don't think about the brands. 9600X, B650M motherboard, RX 9060 XT, 16 gig. If you need to go 8 gig and save some money, you absolutely could. 1 terabyte NVMe, 16 gigs of 6000 mega transfer RAM. You got a Flux M or a Fantex XT M3. You got the and then for your cooler, you can do Thermalright Assassin X120. There's actually been some deals that we've seen that the RAM has actually come with AIO, so you can use a 240 millimeter AIO if that's what you end up getting. And then your power supply is about 750 watts, and this is just to give you some extra room. So that's where we're looking here. When we think about this build, that's the way to kind of think about it. And again, just partnering this with robeytech.com/deals as your opportunity to essentially save some money. And then right now, as we have it spec'd here, it's at $1,400. We've seen this as cheap or as inexpensive as just shy of $1,100 is what we see this. Tom, that was probably at the end of last week, right? So only a couple days ago, you could do a build like this for about $1,100. And that seems to be about where I kind of expect things to kind of sit between the $1,050 to $1,150 range if you in terms of this particular spec. So anyway, that's the part. So let's go ahead and start building, and then we'll go from there. And the one thing I will say is I feel like the context around this build is going to take more time than the actual build itself, because this build is actually not very complicated at all. So yeah, it should be a fun build.
Call me crazy if I missed it, but there's no RAM.
Oh, there is. Oh, I forgot to show it. Yeah, so the most important thing, yeah, I completely forgot about it. It's this right here. We're using 16 gigs. This is too expensive. Don't use this, okay? This is Kingston. It's one of the few 16 gigs DDR5 kits I have. The least expensive stuff right now, we'll go to robeytech.com/deals real quick. So if you looked at DDR5 and you were going to do this now, this would more than likely be the Team Force Team Group 16 gig. You can get 6000 mega transfer for $229.99. That, or you could pick up that G-Skill Flare if you wanted to do no RGB. But this Fury stuff is just, it's too expensive right now. So it does use RAM, which is kind of important. Thank you for calling that out, Brian. That was a key one. With a 9070 XT GPU and a 9900X CPU, would it be better to get 1000 watts over an 850? Zenalt, no. You don't need, 1000 watts isn't going to get you anything with either one of those CPUs. You're more than fine at 850 watts. You have a lot of overhead at that point in time. 9070 XT needs 750 watts minimum, and a 9900X, even if you were just going to stretch out, a 9900X isn't still a crazy power hungry CPU. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Landsworth. Oh, okay, so it's updated. Okay, but so you can still get it, is what you're saying, Tom. If you wanted to, you can still pick up that combo. Well, that's good. So anyway, if you're looking for a good combo on a 5070, there you go. Okay, perfect. I like that better than it's sold out. Ugh. Okay, here we go. So going to our, I was like, where is it? Top-down camera here. We're not going to zoom in too much because this one's definitely going to get cut down. Okay, so we're going to pop this open. It is okay to not, yes, it is okay. I know as bad as that sounds, if you don't want to use RGB RAM to save some money because RGB is more expensive, you absolutely could then. Yeah, dude, honestly, Kingston, I think Kingston has been selling, if I'm not mistaken, and I could ask Shayna this, but I feel like Kingston has had a lot of their supply taken up from they do a lot of pre-built partnerships. So I just don't feel like they have a lot of inventory in the channel. Yeah. GP Stuntman says, well, this may be the time for you, bro. You know what? Here's the deal. We'll be 2 years from now, and GP Stuntman is going to be like, I wish there was more RGB in builds. Maybe, maybe not, maybe not. Maybe he'll be like, no, I still don't like it. For us, it's like one of those things because the target changes, and I'm actually having some interesting conversations with some retailers right now about how we can do a better job of showcasing deal parts. So yeah. Oh, Faith makes a way. He just does it to be able to just keep the EVGA dream alive. Okay, so let's go and throw our NVMe real quick, and then we'll do our RAM clicks. Yes, a lot of people. I mean, Kingston's an incredible brand, so I'm not surprised. But they are. I think the thing is that most of their RAM and their stuff goes into pre-builts. Okay, let's put in our NVMe. By the way, happy new month. Kicking off February off right. First build of February. We're now getting closer and closer to our giveaway. Using my birthday gift. Thank you, sir. Hope everybody's having a good first day of the month. It is the Valentine's Day month. What's the difference between Intel and AMD computer monitors? What is I don't know what that, I don't even, maybe somebody else can understand what he's asking. I don't know what, there's AMD FreeSync, and I don't know if Intel has a refresh rate one. Usually when you see that stuff, it's, yeah. Okay, guys. Wow, sorry. I meant my first day with you guys in February. My bad. Thank you for keeping me accurate. No, they use the Founders Editions, DJ Tech now. Well, it's Groundhog Day again, guys. It's the first day of the month, every day for me. And don't forget likes on YouTube, guys. Okay, let's grab our click here. What did she say today?
96.
96, wow, okay. Well, this is an older board. It's Sergeant Nobody's birthday. So we're not gonna stream for the rest of February, just to celebrate. Just kidding. Okay, here we go. 96 today. Hey, Turdock, thank you for the sub. Zenmo, thank you for the lurk. Wow, that was very good. 97.
It's crispy.
That was crispy. That's old board right there, though, right? Definitely an older board. And that was always this is what we started it with, right? These old boards, man. Super good. 96.5. Super good click rates. And the other thing, too, that Zach always checks is the wiggle. Like he says they wiggle more. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of wiggle. Like lots of wiggle on the... That feels pretty wiggly. I mean, it'll be worth checking Wiggle moving forward. But yeah, that's something that he does pretty consistently. Yeah, dude, that's like this is like if this was your loose tooth, you'd be like, I'm getting rich soon, son. Yeah, Landsworth, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, dude. He's trying to get a hype train going. That's all I gotta say. I didn't fix my user error. My user error never existed, but I like it. Okay, we're just gonna do the Z method again here. I know you guys missed the spread. I do too. Someday we'll be out of NT2. There we go. Hey, let's grab our stuff here. We could hit at, remember guys, level 5, we give away a $15 gift card. And then we have the chance for DDR5 and all that sort of stuff as well. But these guys are getting it going. Dude, could you imagine if you put your loose tooth and you were going to get DDR5 RAM? You'd be like, I'd be ripping out my teeth right now. I'd be like, bro.
You know, how to train your dragon toothless.
Yeah, you'd have to like, exactly. Like, dude, bring me RAM. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's get our... There we go, okay. Now we need to grab, I like to use, this wasn't plugged in. I like to use the WoW stick for these. There we go. Do you know how to do that, Robey? What did I do? Do I know how to do what? I don't know what he asked.
Pull teeth?
Do I know how to pull teeth? Is that what? I'd have to learn. I think I could be a pretty quick study though. Let's do a stretch. What's up, Fozzie? Oh, I haven't seen Fozzie in I haven't seen Fozzie in person in a long time. By the way, dude, I think this is like very roomy now. I was like, woo! That's like a bell.
Say the word.
Word. I was just thinking, I was like, oh man, this is roomy. I think I need to go hoodie though for the next one. Okay. Could you do an Abercrombie hoodie? I want an
anything you can buy at a store, we just take in.
Go get it one. I'd like to do I really like how, if you guys have never wore the Abercrombie and Fitch hoodies, they're so soft inside, and I want them just because they're so soft inside. But I mean, then I just don't want them to think, wow, I didn't know we had a brand deal with Robeytech. And it's like, you don't, but I like your hoodies. So.
Yeah, I can definitely make that happen.
Okay. I just need to get you some hoodies, huh?
I could probably take care of that. We'll probably have to go back and forth on style.
Okay, yeah. This is where Brian tells me, your style is not good, sir.
That's not true.
I like your hoodies, but I don't like your style, Robey.
Mostly just the snow.
Turdog says, I want a Robeytech hoodie. I don't know if we could sell Abercrombie and Fitch Robeytech hoodies. This is one of those things where we go from there.
If we plug them every time.
Yeah, maybe they'd let us. But I love how their stuff is.
What's up, Robeytech PC?
Oh man, okay. Oh, and by the way, guys, tomorrow Damien is stepping in for gaming. I know you guys are gonna get mad because we're not doing Indiana Jones, but the fine folks from Puget Systems, so if you guys remember, they do Puget Bench. They're actually gonna be in the studio tomorrow, checking out our studio and stuff tomorrow. So they're gonna be stopping by. So I'll be doing that. So Damien's gonna be doing game streams tomorrow. No indie this week. So sorry, every once in a while we have something where somebody's gonna come and visit the studio. So we're excited about that. So I'll be with them. So Damien's gonna stream tomorrow. But we'll pick up Indiana next week. Okay, I'm gonna close this up. I think I've got, yeah, oops. Oh, yep, here it is. Okay, let me put this in there. So it should be fun. I am and must finish, and don't worry, I will. I will finish the game, and there will be. So I'm actually looking forward to it because last week we ended on a really good spot. So I've been, even though we accidentally started the expansion, Araxness, I was like, I wasn't ready to start the expansion. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, Robey, you're playing the expansion. I was like, I am? I didn't know that. So we kind of jumped a little bit. There we go. Get this on both sides. Okay, there we go. Air cooler in. Oops. Now we grab our regular screwdriver. Let's make sure it's nice and tight. One thing I will say about coolers, AIOs, and air coolers is please make sure, guys, that you tighten it as tight as it can go. Because you want to make sure that it is solidly against the... You want to make sure it's solidly against the IHS. I mean, it seems like good DLC. I mean, I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm excited about playing through it. I just didn't know I was doing it already. That was kind of a surprise. There we go. Brian always making sure things are framed. Framed.
Well, if you want good content.
That is true. That is true. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying Brian always making sure things are framed. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, we do have an RGB. We have a couple of them here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw our CPU fan. So if you're following along here, I mean, my head's in the way right now, but if we're following along here, we wanna make sure this is the CPU fan. The fan on here, so we're going to plug this into CPU fan. So you want to find your CPU fan header on your motherboard. It's usually right above where the fan is. I have nothing I can do about that. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see here. But you want to find here, it's usually up in this area right here, and sometimes it can be in a different location. It'll be labeled physically CPU fan. And then for the RGB, I think this is going to daisy chain into the other fans in the case, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm literally just gonna shove this underneath. Okay, I'm gonna have to zip tie this up. It's not behaving. So we're gonna grab some zip ties. New bag, Brian.
Hey.
New bag of zip ties. Oh boy. Oh boy, a zip tie boy. Woo.
Crazy what we get excited about.
I know. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this one up here real quick. Yep. Go and clip that in. Kind of shove that down and under. Okay, so that's the end, and then we're just gonna run this up and underneath here. There's actually a little bit of string, and then there we go. Okay, so that's all. Our motherboard is all set. Now, one thing that might be different for yours is, in this case, we're gonna be using we don't have an integrated IO shield. Yours may have an integrated IO shield, so this may be a step you don't have to worry about if you're following along doing your own budget build for this. Did you check out my cable? I did not. Is it up on this? Is it up on Discord? I should be the brand ambassador for zip ties. I don't disagree. If there was an international zip tie foundation, I would be all over that.
That's your call sign in the air, right? Zip
Yep, zip tie. Okay, so there we go. So we're good there. Okay, so we're good. Let's go ahead and slip this over. Oh, I don't know why I did this, but it's okay. Oh, I'm gonna put this more like this. Get that out. Now, if you guys might be like, oh, we built in this case. Yes, we did not build in this. We built in this case not that long ago. So this is actually this is the second time we've done this. This is more just because we definitely are focused on more the budget build. So that's why we're doing a second build in this. Okay, I'll have to go check it. I will check it out after the stream for sure. Okay, so we got that off now. We're gonna grab our get this out. Okay, now pop this down. Huh, weird. Okay, we're gonna take this out. This is your little HDD thing. This is the Antec Flux M. So it's another kind of replica of the Phanteks XT-M3. They're little M-style mobile ones. There we go. Nice little pop out there. We're gonna go over here to this side. Move this a little bit too. We'll have access to all the stuff we care about now. There we go. And there's our little extras. There's our rear fan and all that sort of jazz. Just kind of getting it out of the way because we're going to go and do motherboard. But like I said, the thing I really like about this case is that it actually has, and it comes installed with 6 fans. So now some of the cable management is still from the last time I did the build, so it shouldn't take as long to cable manage. Now the first thing we're gonna do, if you wanna know how to install a I/O shield, what I do is I look at the I/O like this, and you can see, you basically just wanna make sure that it's set up to go on, like so, right? So there, and now I've got it lined up, I'm gonna put this out of the way. And then I'm gonna go down in the corner, and I don't know if you wanna zoom in on this here, Brian. I'm gonna literally go and line it up in the same way and just line that up and then pop it in like so. And then now when I take my Mobo and I set it in, you actually see that it'll line up with, and there, see, all of the stuff is lined up. And then the big thing is just to make sure that you're not gonna, yeah, see, like that was important. Making sure that everything, I'm not blocking anything and it's all lined up nicely. So there we go. So we've got our Mobo in now, and we've got our I/O shield in. So there we go. Okay, so yeah, you wanna make sure it's not upside down. It's a little bit more work than what we're typically used to. And then we should be good there. Okay, so we're gonna run that through to the top. Let's go ahead and grab our screws and get this all screwed in. It's a fun case, Araxnus. Now, your screws for this, I think, are gonna be these. Should be. They have the little, yep. So they're gonna have the little kind of rims around them. They look pretty typical. Look like this, Brian. I don't know if you'll be able to get zoomed in on that, I know. I'll try and be real still, but they're circular and they have a little rim around them. Those are the screws you're looking for. These are gonna be your Mobo screws in this case. Okay, there we go. And again, guys, when you're looking at parts and stuff like this for this, and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, my stuff is a little bit different. It's okay. The screws and all that stuff will be the same between any micro ATX board and the board that you're using here. And the case is already set up for micro ATX, so you won't have any issues there. So yours might be a little bit different because you chose slightly different parts. And that's just given that you know, like I said, this is a budget framework if you're wanting to do a modern build. And then this one you can actually, here in the center, It actually does have the place to do a screw hole. It may not look like it, but you can actually do a center screw in this peg here. There we go. Just need 2 more screws here. One up here. And then one more right here. There we go. Okay, so there's our screws. Now, one thing that's kind of a bummer is usually I'd stick my rear fan down here in this with this little fan head right here, but given that there's no way to run it through this VRM, I've got a sys fan up here, which would be totally fine. So I'm gonna look for a sys fan. You wanna keep it away from pump fan or CPU optional if those are options on your motherboard, because the big thing is that you can't control the speed sometimes with those. So that's why we're gonna choose those particular fan headers in this case. And this does support BTF, so we can be a little bit more awesome around hiding our cables. Okay, so there's that. How we doing? Likes on YouTube? Doing pretty good. Grab a drink. Okay. So now let's pop this up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to route all my cables back, kind of get things out of the way, do what's cleanest here. I think this one might be cleanest to just go straight above. There we go. Not my favorite. I'll have to pull that down, but wish there was. Oh, it's not BTF, never mind. So we're not, I think what I might do, guys, just to make this look prettiest, and here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna loosen these top screws up here. And I'm gonna do some unique cable management here, just to make this look pretty. Just because it's budget, doesn't mean it can't look good, you know? There we go. Oh, okay, it's on there. I was like, where's the screw? It's on the screwdriver. There we go. So I'm going to take this top row out. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this cable right here. Just going to push this motherboard out a little bit, and you'll have enough to just be able to run it down behind it. That's just going to look way better and way cleaner than trying to do that. And then the same thing we're going to do actually with this right here. So I'm going to take these from the rear fan here and run these. And this is only if you have a air cooler. If you're running like an AIO, probably not as big of a deal, but because we're not, I'm gonna run these behind the Mobo. There we go. Oh, that's why. There we go. And we're going to want to put this on the other side of this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we have those hidden and nice and clean there. Much better looking. Now I can take those screws and put them back on. And now with that, we have much cleaner looking cables, which I think is just a little bit nicer. There we go. One more. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I've got all those. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and cable manage. So now I have these screws coming down here. So here, I can now daisy chain all of the RGB together, which is what I'm gonna work on now. So here is our, we got our front panel here. Okay, so we're gonna run, looks like this one is ready for another, okay, here we go. So we're gonna take this one, and these two are all, these are the daisy chain for the front fans. We're gonna put that in like that. And then we're gonna take this last one here and daisy chain this. This is, so now all of our fans are all daisy chained together, making it really nice for controlling our RGB. And then what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna create a RGB fan section right here. There we go. And there's actually right here, there's actually a zip tie place right here, which is good. So what we'll do is I'll go ahead, I'm just gonna temporarily put a zip tie here. Oh, no. Never mind, that was a light off. That was a light reflection. I was like, dang, there's not a hole there. Blue. That kind of sucks. Yeah, can we get a... Do we count that? We count all the zip ties. Every zip tie that I use, I count them all. Okay. So that one's gonna go there. We'll actually use some other ones here later, but we got that at least done. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna run this. Ooh, I was thinking with half a brain, a little bit of some, we're gonna do some additional special stuff here because we wanna run this up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this screw out. Just like that. There you go. And we're just going to run this one directly behind the motherboard and plug this right into the sys fan right here. This is supposed to go. There we go. There you go. Okay, give that a nice tight one again. And the only reason I did that is just, again, keep from running cables into places I don't think are gonna look good. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so now that's done.
Yes, reckless. We count all the lives lost.
Yeah, all of them, yeah, even the temp ones all get counted. It's all zip ties are sacrificed for the making of these builds get counted. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is just quickly, quietly, carefully cut that one. That one gets counted, yes, for sure. And then now, yep. Whoa. Looks like there's actually one up here. Go. So that'll keep those nice and up there, which is good. Just need to make sure this is tight.
Exactly like that always works.
Yeah, it's temporary, but it doesn't mean, yeah, so temporary doesn't mean I don't count, it just means that it's not gonna be there permanently, but it still gets counted as a zip tie I use during the build, for sure. Could you imagine if I didn't? Those poor zip ties, their lives wouldn't even matter anymore. It'd just be like, what is even the point of existing if I don't get counted by a Robeytech build, you know?
Because unlike cats, zip ties only have one life.
Yeah, it's true. That's very cool. That's a very keen observation, Brian. You, sir, are a philosopher and a gentleman. Okay, so there's that. So now what we need to do, so you have that. I'm trying to figure out, okay, so over here, we have to get our other plugs in. So now it's time for front panel, all that jazz. Where we got fan headers down here? We got one. One up here. Guys, I gotta fix this again. Robey messed up. Two more zip ties lost their lives for no purpose. But I have already counted. I've already counted them, so their tails are over here. Okay, here we go. Trying to make this a nice long. Oh, wow, that's not as... This is all sorts of special now. There we go. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. There you go. There you go. I might do a little bit of a, probably do a different thing down here. Okay. Okay. There you go. Now we've got much cleaner. It was just a little bit out of control, guys, so too much for my ADHD there. Even though I don't have that, but
OCD?
yeah, OCD, that's what I was looking for. See? Took me a little bit to remember what D I had. What I'm trying to do is I just want to make sure that the front also has, and so what I noticed is that there was some stuff that was up at the front that needs to be just really clean, and that's what I'm working on now. And for this, this one goes right there. So kind of seal this bit down. There we go. There you go. Okay, there you go. That kind of gets all these kind of under control. Okay, cool. So now we have all these like controlled. Okay, so that gets that in. Okay, now we can focus on okay, I want to get one more down here to tighten this down. Okay, and that's just going to make sure that we hide the bottom cables there. Okay, so fans are all in and controlled. Now we got is we're going to run our USB 3 and those things real quick. So USB 3 is going to come down here. It's kind of in this, okay, so we might have to go out. So this one's going to be interesting because we're going to go down like that.
kind of like a little bit. Oops, we're just gonna push these back. Should be okay. Got that cable up there. Sometimes this happens, guys. Okay. Dude.
I don't know if I'm able to plug this in.
It's like they're just this much space too much, and so it's like maybe.
Brutal. These pins are not straight, so I don't know if they got damaged at one point when they were taken apart in a build or whatever it was, but it's making this really hard. Here we go.
I got it in.
Okay. Okay, and then the other one is the USB-C. It's a little higher up. Just gotta be patient sometimes, guys. There we go. Okay, so that's in. Okay, then now, so we have our, this one is going to come up. This is our fan header. And this is for the front fans. There we go. So there's all of our fans, all of these and these are all daisy chained together, which is fine because I want them to run off of the CPU and the GPU temp. And then the last cable I need is right here. This is HD audio. There we go. And then we have our front panel connection, whoops, which I almost didn't plug in. Power and reset switch. There's power. And okay, I'm gonna have to unplug power so I can get reset and plugged real quick. Reset. And
power. And the other thing too is like, please make sure that you look at your manual for your for your motherboard, just to make sure you're plugging them into the right place. It is labeled on there too. But like, look at your manual and then make sure that you actually have it plugged in into the right pins. Oops. So when we looked at this, so it says right here, you have something like this. You can see that this is actually how it is. So power plus and minus, power set and reset switch are underneath each other, and then HDD. So I actually plugged the reset into the wrong one. This is called I can't see. So 2 pins over to the left, and it's universal for everybody. Where's my phone? Just having some extra light. There we go. That's much easier to see now. So 2 over there. There we go. So that's how it looks. And that's going to be universal for mower, but that's essentially how it's going to plug in, right? Just like that. Power and reset switch. Okay, let's pull these. And that's all of our cables there, so we're all reset and set up there. He's not wrong about Zach. Zach does a good job. But no, you can't win this PC. I don't need an anti-static wrist bag. These things are so shielded, dude. I'm also fairly sure if they choose the winner, it's not winning anything. What does that even mean? Dude, we have winners who've won a lot of stuff. I don't even know what that means. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start just putting our stuff in here. Yeah, I don't even know what that means. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna pull this straight. Okay. There you go. Okay, and then we're going to pull this up here as well. I'm trying to understand what this guy means when he says if they choose a winner, they don't win anything. Like that's like that, like that. I'm trying to, if he's implying that we don't have winners and they never win anything, I think that guy, I think that you hate animals. See, I can point at you and make up stuff too. I think that I think that every time that you get out of the shower, you smell. See, I can make up stuff too. What does that even mean? Oh, I see what you mean. I thought he was just saying that we don't, like, our winners aren't real. I was like, dude, our winners are very real. Yeah, okay. Because I was like, dude, what do you mean? Our winners win all sorts of stuff. We've given away so many things. Okay. All right, cool.
We've done so many giveaways that if we really were just sabotaging giveaways, like
Yeah.
everybody would be in upheaval. We would just be.
Yeah, dude, people would be so mad.
We wouldn't have a channel.
Yeah. All right, we're on the same page. Sorry, I overreact. Sounds like I overreacted. I just thought you were like questioning our integrity as a giveaway, and I was like, we give away stuff all the time. We're not very integrous with our giveaways. Ah, okay. Got it. Sorry that. I overreacted then. My bad. I apologize. Maybe if he said today was his birthday. Nope. The thing is like if we gave a PC away to every person who had like a really sad story, dude. And the idea too is like I wish I could, man. I wish I could just give PCs away to everybody and be like, hey, you all get a PC, everybody gets a PC, but it's just not realistic, man. I'm not made of money. I wish, dude. Okay, guys, I think we got all of the cable management done, and it actually looks pretty good. So all of our cables are plugged in. Wait, there's a weird, okay, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna unscrew this right here. There's like something sticking out of the bottom of this board. I don't know what it is. We're gonna find out. Is there something? Oh, there's something here. It's like stuck or something. Look at this. I think there's something I didn't. There's a RGB connector back here. I found it. Found an RGB connector behind the motherboard, which is why we double check. So I was like, oh, something is not supposed to be there. That's weird. Huh, that was even focused. We found it and we fixed it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got that. Now the question I have is that, I guess I realized, and that's the problem, is this is not plugged into anything, so our RGB would not have worked. Which doesn't help me because there's no RGB down here, which is awesome. So I still have no RGB hooked up into anything. There's one, the closest one is up in the corner. Okay. So all of this is all cable managed into it. Okay, so now I have to, remember all that cable management I took all this time to do? Well, because I found out there's this cable that I don't know what it is, wasn't plugged in, I gotta reroute this cable. Now this is like going, okay, it's this cable right here. I spent a lot of time doing that, and now it's like, okay. Hey, this is the cable I need. And this cable needs to go, I think, over to the left. Who's in it? Is Falcon? Is they?
I think Falcon might be in the chat.
Oh, what's up, Falcon? Okay, we're gonna put this right here, and then now we have all the cables hooked up because we had a cable that was hidden. Brian, we have this cable, sorry. So this is the RGB, all of the daisy chain RGB for all of our fans. So I've daisy chained them and run them up to the top here. There we go. Okay. Hey, yeah, Falcon is in the chat. Okay. Now, I have to get this done here. Being very careful. All of that work that I've done, guys, this is where and this is sometimes where integrity kind of comes in. Like, I could just forget about it, but then then it's still not right. So you have to like take your time and refix it all. But we're gonna make sure that for our video and for our live stream, it is right. This is the right thing to do for you guys. To make sure the video is right. So if you want to follow along, you can. There we go. Okay. So now we can take all this and put this back together. SPD, yeah, you could do that via the donation link for sure. But then again, you like doing gifted subs, all that sort of stuff also helps. But yes, obviously donations, they don't take a cut. So if you want to do that, that would be huge, man. I'd really appreciate it. Can somebody get Alex ADG, is it ADG founder? Can somebody give him the link? The donos are the best ways to do that. How we doing, Kelt? How's your day going? I got your empty cases, guys. I'm excited about some funny things. Some funny things we're gonna be shooting with some Falcon stuff here pretty soon. I hope Kelt likes it. It's risque. Oh, it's ADG founder. Sorry. I apologize for saying your name wrong. I'm glad. Happy Monday. Okay, guys, now we're back to where we were. Thank you for being patient. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring that up because I want to not have this be visible down below. And I think there's going to be a okay, we've done it. 3 cable managed. Okay, so now that we got this all squared, and then this will keep it out of the bottom area, which is what I was trying to do here because I realized that you can see this down below, so which is why I kind of up this up like this, and we'll hide it behind this other cable, this metal plate. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay. Way more zip ties than I thought I would use in this build, but I had to completely redo some of the cable management. Okay. Okay, so now that's all in. Oh, forgot one. Okay, guys. Now what we need to do, so you got all that in. Looks really clean here from the front. Minimal cabling showing, even at the top we have everything like looking very nice and clean. Okay, so next up, let's throw our GPU in. Okay. So in the back there's this little screw thing. Take it off, looks like best bet. Okay, we're gonna grab our first 2 screws here. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool, we're good there. Okay. Well, we haven't done air cooler. I'm trying to think of the last time we did an air cooler. I think last week was all AIOs. The rest of the week is AIOs as well. So this is the only air cooler this week. I like XFX. I don't have a favorite brand. AMD is actually pretty good in terms of their different GPU types. So yeah, it's for sure. I don't know if we have an air cooler song. I know we have an AIO song. We haven't written an air cooler song. That's something we're gonna have to work on. I do like power color. We use a lot of A size. AIAO. That's the AIO song though, not the air. That's not the air cooler song. There we go. There we go. Beautiful looking little card there. Very simplistic. AI Air. I think I should just say AI Air song. And on this AI Air build, we put some AI Air. Wait, AI. No, that just sounds like AI Air. We don't want AI. We have enough AI in our PC DIY. Yeah, AI crash. Yeah, I'll have AI. I don't want to. That's why we don't. That's why we have expensive GPUs. Is because I use AI to make AI Air songs. Okay. Let's grab this. Here we go. Perfect. It's a little high, but I gotta fix the sag bracket, that's why. Boom. That's why it's crooked, because the sag bracket's a little high, Brian. I know you're worried. It's a little sagging up. Sagging up instead of sagging down. Is it straight now? That looks straight, right? There we go. Looks good. Yeah, there we go. Okay, boys and girls. That is the GPU. Our air cooler's in. It looks straight. Yeah. AI need help buying RAM. That's a good. I like that song. That's a very honest song. Okay, here we go. Grabbing our PSU time. Now this one's going to be a little bit different because we don't need the 16 pin. We're not done yet. We still got GPU. We still got PSU. So don't rush me. Still taking my time. Yeah, it's only an hour. We're only an hour and 36 minutes in. I'm trying. But yeah, that's the thing is like a lot of these builds, when you build like no frills builds, it's like, okay. There's our CPU cable. Now we need our, what is going, wow, okay. The PSU like came out, okay, so this is 16 pin, I don't need that connection. There's another one right there. Here's our other one. Okay, here's our 24 pin. AMD still uses the 12 plus, they use it too. That's another CPU connection. Some of their brands do for sure. There we go, we can use this one, okay. Okay, here we go. I know Sapphire does. And now a lot of ATX 3.1 PSUs just use the 16 pin connector on the other side. Oh, I need the PSU, actually. Oh, this wasn't peeled. Put in installed, not peeled. We're terrible people, Brian. Boom, now it's peeled, bro. There it's bro. There you go. Yeah, go over to youtube.com/Robeytech, guys. Hit that thumbs up. That'll unlock a giveaway. We haven't done any giveaways. We haven't unlocked any giveaways today. Okay, here we go. Okay. So our cables are 12 pin, or sorry, 20, the, what? Okay. So cables were our big cable here. There we go. Next one is just our GPU cable, our PCIe one. And then we have a CPU cable. And there we go, that's it. That's all our cables. Now we have to, this one gets installed a little bit differently. There we go. Pop that out. And there we go. That pops right down in there, just like that. Okay, so we're gonna grab our cables for tighten these. I think one of these I had, remember I had a problem like being able to reach it. There we go up there. There we go. Right there. If I can get that one. There we go. All the cable, all the screws in. Tighten them down, make sure it's nice and tight now. There we go. Okay, there we go. And then we grab this cable. Go. Make sure that's on. Okay, power is in. Oops. Okay, power is in, and we're all set there. Yes, XM it is. It's absolutely, he just asked if a 850 watts is good enough for a 5080. Yes, it is absolutely good enough for a 5080. How we doing likes on YouTube, guys? All right, so I'm gonna take a couple minutes real quick since we're getting close to the end. I wanna let people know about this build, because now that we have over 400 people here. This is a budget framework build for, for 2024, February 2024. What I've done is I've essentially put parts, and so let's bring up the parts list real quick, because the way that you look at this, if you're watching this now, is don't think about the specific parts, think about the part names, if that makes sense. So we're using an AMD Ryzen 5 9600X. We are using a B650M motherboard. I am using a Radeon 16 gig RX 9060 XT. I'm using a 1 terabyte NVMe drive. I'm using 16 gigs of DDR5, and I'm using a 750 watt PSU. So the way that I've done this is that you can follow along, but the motherboard, the PSU, the RAM, the NVMe, and the GPU are all variable here, because what we've seen traditionally in the last couple of weeks is you're able to build a PC like this with these components for between $1,050 and $1,200 and $1,150. So when you basically are building this PC, you need to look at the parts. Now everything, if you go to robeytech.com/deals and you're here, we're gonna pop over there right now, and you're over here on the deals,
when you look at this, what we've done is we've made a whole website that literally finds the best deals on DDR4, DDR5, 1 terabyte NVMe's, GPUs, pre-built, and PC DIY deals, okay? So essentially, like you'd say, okay, I want to go find the best deal on DDR5. I'm not going to use this Kingston kit because it's significantly more expensive. So I'd switch this to the T-Force Team Group 16 gig of DDR5. And then it says, okay, my best SSD deal would be this Lexar 1 terabyte. So that already, between choosing those two things, has saved me almost $70. And then I go and choose my PSU, which it would be a tough power motherboard. There's combo deals, all that sort of stuff. So the expectation is that this is a framework that you're using to make the best thing, because what it's done is with micro ATX, historically with micro ATX, what we've seen is that using this case, which is about $60, with these components, gets you as close to $1,000 as you potentially can. So really, unlike normally when I'll build a build and people say, I want it to look exactly like that, this one is a framework. And then you can follow along with me. I showed you where all of the places connect, all that sort of stuff. You can follow along and still build this PC, and it will perform the same. It just will have different components in it to save you money in the end. So that's why this build is a little bit different in the regards of it's not, don't look at the type of components for my parts list. Don't look at the specific components specifically, right? So again, a B650M, a 1 terabyte NVMe, 16 gigs of RAM, etc. And then whatever is going to get you to save you the most is what you're going to use here. And again, head over to robeytech.com/deals, bookmark that page. We're literally updating it all the time. In fact, we had a deal that changed, an RTX 5070 PSU combo deal that changed during the live stream. We updated it during the live stream. Tom is literally paying attention to this daily. So if you are in the market of PC DIY, all that sort of stuff, then you absolutely can do this. And the other thing too is, like, I will let you guys know, we're going to pop over to the deals one more time. Here, like, we're looking at 1,000 over, close to 1,050. Here's another one, here's a Ryzen 7 7700 with a 1 terabyte, 16 gigs, and a 9060 XT for $1199 as a pre-built, and that has all your warranty and stuff like that. So sometimes, where it used to be that you could always basically outperform at pre-built PCs, now there's a lot of times where, because of the bulk deals, you can actually end up finding better options for PC, for pre-built options, and we're listing those on the site as well. So again, trying to do our best to make sure that you guys have the best opportunity to get into PC gaming. I know for some people, money doesn't matter as much, and then again, that's where we have things like Falcon Northwest and stuff like that. But for those people who are looking to get, are literally saying, hey, what's the base level I can get into PC gaming at this point in time, we're trying very hard to make it possible for you. So yeah. What's up, T-Man? So does that make sense? I wanted to clarify that as we were getting further along. And then last thing, I also want to remind you, make sure, and we'll pop over here real quick, make sure that you're linking your Stream Elements account with your Twitch account, because we have this Falcon Northwest giveaway that we're doing. It's worldwide. If you have questions, exclamation point giveaway or exclamation point giveaway help, we're giving away a CU265/RTX 5080 frag box that's been customized. Plus, it's got a Corsair Vanguard Corsair Vanguard keyboard and Saber Pro mouse as well as part of the PC kit. So anyway, man, you guys want to go get that squared away, all that sort of stuff. We're now just a little over 2 weeks away, from a little less than 2 weeks away of giving that PC away. So make sure you're earning your points, getting your tickets, all that sort of stuff, so you guys can be excited. What's up, T-Man? Yeah, so yeah. Sorry, month, yeah. Oh, nice, T-Man. Why? I'm just out of curiosity. So get those tickets. We're gonna all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I just want to let you guys know we're gonna be trying to do these more frequently. The other two is I do want to let you guys know one thing that is new is starting next week. We will be streaming on the AMD channels as well. So AMD will be having a couple builds a week that are AMD focused with 90 series and AMD. So we'll be streaming over at twitch.tv/AMD as well. So that's going to be super awesome. So look for that. Just more similar to stuff that we do with Corsair, we do with Intel and everybody else as well. Well, too long didn't read. Do not let the GPU sag. Wait, what? So your GPU was sagging and it caused issues? Oh, that's weird. That's interesting. I've never known that before. Okay.
I have it, yeah. I'm doing stuff with AMD as well, yeah. Oh, wow. That's crazy. That surprises me, to be honest. But we don't let our GPU sag, so it's all good. Okay, so we're going to pop that down there. So this is our 24 pin. We're also going to take our GPU one, and we're going to run that through the bottom here. And this is going to go up and under here for our GPU card. There we go. And then we're going to take our, oh, that was not GPU. That was not it. Pull that back. Never mind, we're going to run this up here. Actually, yeah, we're going to run this up here. That's our CPU connection. And then we're going to take our GPU. And they won't replace the card? Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's go into there. Yay, and Mark Anthony, 15 stream streak. Okay, so let's plug this in right here. Okay, we'll make sure that's straight here in a second. GPU. There we go, GPU. And then last one is our CPU. Okay, so there's all of our cables all connected. So we got CPU up here, then we got our GPU cable we've plugged in down here, and then we've got our PSU cable right there. And again, we have a nice clean blacked out build. So now what we're gonna do is just make sure that the cables look good. Yeah, this is a good case, yeah. And again, one of the things with these budget builds, guys, is that you can do this either with this. This is the Antec Flux M, which I like, $60, and you get 6 fans, which is great, plus the 3. Or you can get the Fantex XT M3, which is $60, but you don't get as many fans. But it's a little bit of a better premium case. So there's some trade-offs, but not much, right? I'd definitely say the Antex is kind of more of a deal. For sure. There we go. Why didn't you get a sag bracket then, T-Man? You just didn't think you needed one? I think you're trying to tell us because you're like, hey, I learned a lesson, and so this is what you're kind of doing. You're like, hey, let me be a lesson to you guys, and don't let your GPU sag. Yeah. So you're just kind of saying like, hey, learn from my mistake a little bit. Thanks, T-Man. That really surprises me because I don't think they should be. I don't think it should be. I know there's probably a lot of people who have saggy GPUs. I don't think it would be that big of an issue. Tight cables and tight abs. Well, that's what I'm working on. Tight cables and tight abs. Okay, let's get this going here. I feel like I probably want to go down instead. Can I make it go that way though? Maybe not. Just getting this up, guys. How we doing likes on YouTube, guys? Let's get them done. Okay, now we just need to clean these up. I wish there was a... So I can cut for four. Are you wanting to game at 4K? Or like, because the thing is like, honestly, like for something like that, I'm looking at, but I really don't have the time to look at all. It's supposed to be a workplace PC, but should have handle some gaming now and then. I have a 4K 144 hertz monitor. I would recommend, especially if you're going to do 4K, probably a 5080, and then you could do a 9850X 3D, right? For sure. And if you wanted something a little bit more productivity focused, you could do a Core Ultra, or you could do a 9950X 3D if you wanted to. And then, but 5080 is going to be kind of your minimum. Now those PCs, especially with 32 gigs of RAM and stuff like that, are going to be expensive. If you wanted to save some money, you could do a 14900K with a RTX 5080 and do DDR4, 3200 megahertz if you wanted to do that too and save a little bit of money. It'd save you some pretty significant money on RAM and stuff like that, depending on your company's appetite for spending money. Because right now PCs are pretty expensive. Are they, so they will not replace your GPU? Like there's like, that thing is, it's not RMA-able because they wouldn't do that. I mean, I don't think you bought it that long ago, did you? Don't you have a 9070 or something like that? There we go, dude, that looks pretty good. Nice and clean, right? Okay, now we're gonna just hide some stuff. Just by making it look like there's no cables there anymore. They're all hidden. I'm glad, Braxel. Well, I mean, honestly, the thing is that at least at that point in time, you still get your GPU back, and more than likely your GPU will be insured, right, as part of the RMA process. So if it's damaged in shipping, you'll still get it back versus having to go back to a 4070. Save you some money, you know? There we go. Okay, guys, we're at the very end here. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Turdog. Okay, we got one little, let's go and put the back on here, and then I'll fix this. Okay, so it clips on. Oh, I think I have this upside down. I think it goes the other way, sorry. Like that. There we go. Put this in. No, not really. What would I need it for, just out of curiosity? Okay, so now we're just gonna go like this. Grab our little bit here. Okay. There we go, guys. Looks good. Okay, build is done. Take a look at our zip tie count. It's going to be hefty today, guys. Almost feel like I spent more time explaining the build today than I did actually building. But it was important, right? Like I want this to be, the purpose of this stream is to be helpful for people who are trying to get into PC, PC DIY. Okay, let's take a look at our build, our zip tie count here. One, two, three, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 20. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 33. That's a lot. I think I probably would have used half of that if I hadn't had to redo that whole section of building. 33, guys. It's odd today. Okay, let's grab a drink. Do a dad joke. Robey, all these years have been building PCs. Have you ever found parts left over? Screws sometimes, but most of the time not parts. But like today is a great example, Zenu. When I was doing the cable management, I saw like something sticking down underneath here near the front panel, and I was like, "What is that?" And then found out that I had like somehow the RGB for the all the fans that got stuck underneath the Mobo. So sometimes stuff like that does happen. What's a rider's favorite train station? What's a rider's favorite train station? Penn Station. He just says, huh. That's where he leaves it. Oh man. Okay, yeah, stare is fair. Stare is fair. I think that's a fair one. Okay, let's go ahead and grab our keyboard, mouse, all that sort of jazz. Yeah, I was about to ask that. I'm not sure what GPU to use. Our buddy here has said it. A 40, so dude, 4K is rough, okay? Let me just say, 4K, I mean, it depends on the games you play. There are some people who can play 4K games, not with it, depending on what games you're gonna play. And I guess the thing is, how about I say this? 4K is rough for me because the games I play outside of World of Warcraft definitely require high-end GPUs to play. So if you're playing AAA, like brand new titles, like Grand Theft Auto 6 when it comes out, if you're gonna play like Indiana Jones, Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 4, those will require very, very powerful GPUs at 4K, or they'll use upscaling. So I would say a 5080, 4080, those are gonna be ideal. 5080 more than even the 4080 because DLSS 4.5 is, you know, just runs ideal on those GPUs. Now, if you're gonna play like Battlefield 6 or first-person shooters like COD, stuff like that, then it starts to become a whole lot easier, and you can probably get away with like a 4070 Ti or 4070 or 5070 Ti, etc. But the thing is that really the ideal range, and maybe my recommendation would be like, if you're gonna spend this much on a PC, I'd say getting a higher end 1440p monitor versus doing 4K, or use your 4K as like your work monitor and a 1440p as your gaming monitor would be more ideal. And then you're just gonna really love, you're gonna be much happier. A buddy of mine wanted me to try Cyberpunk and he said it was gonna be, it is GPU heavy, yeah, for sure. 5060 is good enough for 1440p if you're talking about like Fortnite, stuff like that. You could get away with 1440p, but Evans, like honestly, 5060 Ti, 9060 XT, really the 5070 and 9070 are kind of your 1440p kind of minimum bars ideally. But you can get away with it in a 5060 Ti and a 5060 somewhat, but I would not recommend it. All right, let's go ahead and start popping in cables here. And again, just to go through parts one more time as we're plugging all this stuff up, why don't we show the parts list here again, Brian? Okay, so parts list for this. And remember, guys, the way to think about this is part type, not necessarily sticking specifically with these brands. But the AMD Ryzen 5 9600X, we're using an MSI Pro B650M-A Wi-Fi in this one, but any B650M, the cheapest you can find, is going to be awesome. We're using the Prime Radeon RX 9060 XT. This is the 16 gig version. We showed on Robeytech deals that you can get an ASRock 16 gig for $449, so nice deal there. 1 terabyte Patriot Viper VP4300 Lite, but you can get a 1 terabyte Lexar for about $40 cheaper. Kingston Fury 16 gig, 6,000 mega transfer. This is incredible. Kingston is great RAM, but honestly, looking at the T-Force team group that's over on Robeytech deals right now for $229 would be a much better deal. Antec Flux M is right. I would definitely get this case or the Fantex MT. XT M3, sorry, or the Thermalright Assassin X120. Yes, get that cooler, 17 bucks, great deal. And then the Tough 750 watt. If you wanted to save some money, you could pop over to the Thermalright Thermaltake Tough Power 750, and you could save a little bit of money there. So again, focus is 9600X, 9060 XT, 750 watts, B650. That's more the thing. And then again, it's all about saving the money. Yeah, so that's where we're getting the build. Also, 9060 is 16 gig version or 8 gig. So Turdog, in the new world where VRAM is expensive, whatever you can afford is kind of the way it works. If you can afford the 16 gig, that'd be ideal. You know, in this world of, you know, VRAM prices, especially with the new announcement that apparently came out that we're going to see GPU prices jumping as much as 150% starting next month, I think you just got to look at what you can get. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. I think we got it all. I think, oh no, I got it. That's why I did the parts list one more time, because it's like I got to take the GPU. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I did it. I was looking at that. I was like, am I going to have to use two hands? No. Okay, so here we go. Turning it on. There we go. Easy on. That's all I got to say. And there we go. PC is on. Very clean looking. Yeah, I can cut, yes, you're not wrong, right? Like, you're spending a significant amount of money here, for sure. Oh, that's this. Is it this? I think it's this, actually. Yep. It does this from time to time. Oops. That was weird. It did post, but I don't see it on my screen. That's weird. I don't see, that's super odd.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit F12, and then I'm gonna get out of this. No USB device found, what? Oh. Oh, hold on, let me do this. F10. Okay, we're gonna try this again. It did post. It's real, okay, but I can at least see it now, okay. Okay, so we're gonna do XMP or oh, I forgot to turn this on, that's why. Okay, so we're gonna turn that on. I'm gonna see if I can go to F7. Sometimes you can, that's fine. I was trying to see if I can, because we were having issues with the RGB earlier. Oh, there it is. Oh, but I can't change it. That sucks. Let's see if I have any options here. Oh, no. That's the only one. That's AMD overclocking. We're going to change these to auto, PWM. Okay, so I wanted to pump, PVM, that's good. System, we're going to go PVM, PWM. Okay, that's going to slow those down. Change this to turn these on to Smart Fan. This one I want it at same thing. There you go. Okay. So there is, it doesn't look like I can change my turn this off, hit F10. There we go. All right, so there it goes. Oh, okay, I definitely don't want to leave that on. So apparently that turned off all of my RGB. Plus, what I'm wondering is it level of performance picky when it comes to design. I would love to white build. So I can cut. What I would do is I'd recommend like writing us or going to a Discord because we can help, or write me and I could price something out for you if you wanted to do that. Just gotta wait for the post. There it goes. Yeah, that's annoying, but it'll go away. Oops. Okay, so I'm gonna have to reboot this real quick. So we do have the stuff all set here. It depends. Where would it go? I can cut. Okay, let's turn easy back on, because apparently that turns my RGB off. Huh?
Germany.
Oh, Germany, yeah. It wasn't, no, it has nothing to do with that. Okay, but now my RGB is completely gone. Hopefully it comes back. Baby, come back. Baby, come back. I want my RGB back. That is not a postcode. I've actually seen that sometimes, especially with older BIOSes, where it'll do like a high-pitched sound over HDMI. That's not a postcode. Yeah. Trap rats, absolutely. You get all sorts of things for updating your BIOS performance, all sorts of things like that. Okay, we're gonna try something I was told not to do because it doesn't work, but we're gonna try and see if we can get MSI Center to. Oh, there, it's back. Okay, we got RGB again. We have RGB again, at least. There we go. We just so you know, Blondie, we did do dad joke already. Okay, let's do link. What? Okay, we're gonna do steady, and then we'll do. We did that one last time. Let's do like a. That was weird. Okay, there you go. Like a lighter purple lavender. It's kind of cool. A little lavender love. And there we go, guys. A lavender budget build. 9060 XT, all that sort of stuff. Again, the one thing is it's got plenty of airflow. Really excited. We'll test it. We've done a lot of red. We've done a lot of purple. So I'm trying to do some different colors. So plus it's like it could be red for MSI, red for AMD, but again, I'm trying not to do so like cliche, if that makes sense. Red, white, and blue. There it is, guys. Pop this back in. Yeah, very simple, super clean build, plenty of airflow, all that sort of stuff. Okay, go to display settings. Let's duplicate these. Keep changes. We're gonna go to, we're gonna do 150. It's a 9060 XT 16 gig, so we'll have to kind of see how this was right here. Okay, let's go ahead and just test our temps real quick. Because again, you can really hear, you could do 1440p or ideally 1080p for this is gonna be a good one too. There we go. Let's throw some cleaning on it. There we go. Okay, let's just check our temps. This has got a 9600X and a tower cooler. This should be 1440p. You shouldn't be, like, depending on how you're watching it, my output, my stream is 1440p. It should be anyway. Temps right now are 31. Let's go to File, Advanced. Go to 10 minutes, start multi-core. See how this does. This will definitely ramp up. There we go. Still fine. I thought it would get higher than that, 60. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. 60 degrees with this under load. Okay, let's just take a look at airflow. Airflow should be pretty chill. Bottom and the top are fan. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look here. So you're gonna see here some airflow just coming right through here, going right up and out, right? It's being pulled into the air cooler, right? But it's not needed. And even here, you're gonna see some, like, air is gonna get pulled through and straight through the air cooler. And it's still even so much that it's getting, this has got so much air. That's kind of cool. It's getting so much air that, again, it still has, it's not even, it has more than enough airflow is basically the point, because you're seeing air even escaping out as it's being pushed by the additional fans, because the CPU, the air cooler doesn't even need it. So plenty of airflow there for your for our build. The white PC, yeah, that's actually a budget build too. That's actually that's a 9060 XT, just a way overbuilt 9060 XT build. I think this also has a 9600X and it's just an all white version of kind of in this one. But this build's significantly more expensive, higher end. It's got a SteelSeries Mobo, higher end air cooler, and then obviously DDR5 and all that sort of stuff as well. But yeah, still a great build. So there it is, guys. That is the build. Obviously, CPU temps sitting at 64, so obviously we're not going to have any issue in terms of keeping this cool or anything like that. Airflow looks good. We're going to say goodbye to Brian. He's going to take off, guys. He was quiet today. He was quiet today. ASRock SteelSeries is what I meant, Araxnus. It's an ASRock SteelSeries board.
Good to see everybody. PGA Tech Build, congratulations on the 60 consecutive streams. It's crazy.
Okay, let's pop over here. Let's just take a look at some gaming temps real quick. We can install GPU tweak. Yes, they have. So we did a bunch of testing not that long ago with an ASRock board and weren't able to get it to fail. So did Gamers Nexus. So we've used a number of their boards. Oh, Teardog just kicked you out, dude. He emoted you out. He was like, "Get out of here, bruh." And there we go. Blondie, go ahead and start the giveaway. Library, ready to play. Okay, so he's, I may not be able to do this. Hold on, let me do this. Hold on, let me lag out. Let's do next. Install. There we go. Yeah, that was my concern. We'll see how that does. If not, we can, I think we got Doom, so we could probably try that one maybe, just to show some temps. Okay, so here we go. Waiting for this to finish, then we'll have a restart, and then we'll be good to go. Finish there. Okay, we're gonna restart here real quick. There we go. Well, what did you guys think of content like this, right? Do you enjoy this kind of, like, again, it feels like, you know, I know this is a little bit of a departure from what we typically do here on Robeytech, which is show new cases and focus on higher end builds. But this one, again, we wanted to really kind of show you guys, and especially as PC DIY continues to have some difficulty, just really kind of spend some time showing you guys some budget options as well. So yeah, it's one of those things for sure that we're just trying to give you guys more options, more things like this, of course. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. Okay, good. Probably. Okay, let's go ahead and pop in here and get the game going here. Just waiting for this to pop up. I might quit this real quick. Okay. There you go. Okay, Steam's back. There we go. And then let's see here if we can get this to go. Trying to show overlay. See if I can get it with this. Sometimes you can. Overlay, size, gauge. And enable it. Okay, so we got GPU temp, CPU temp. Okay, good. We got, whoa, that seems wrong. 207 million temperature, wow. GPU temp seems good. So, it's top left, is that still top right? That looks good. I don't know why it says that it's 200 million degrees. CPU, oh yeah, look at it. It says it's 207, wow. No, it's not, because here, let me show you, dude, hardware info. We can look here. This is just not reading. It's weird because it's an AMD CPU and this is just flat out failing. It could be a GPU tweak issue, so I might, yeah, you're looking here. Our GPU temp is 56, not 207 million. Well, yeah, except for it's working here. It's 57 degrees. Oh, now it's 360 million, 3.6 million degrees. Let's, okay, now that I know, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna uninstall GPU tweak. We can use this. Oops. Maybe it'll work with just this. It's an Asus Mobo, but we'll... Yeah, nuclear, we've got it. We've achieved nuclear fission, guys. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're gonna reboot one more time. Give it one more reboot. Restart anyways. So the budget is trying to get as close to $1,000 as possible. Shaboinky, go back and watch the whole thing. Like, it's really about literally looking at our deals page, robeytech.com/deals, because we're listing all the best prices for DDR5, all those sort of things. So it's really just about trying to take this build and then you replace so instead it's about the parts, it's about the part types and not necessarily the brands, because you can find cheaper options. So GPU tweak is like Afterburner, yes. It's just a little bit more straightforward because it's just set up, if that makes sense. But Blondie but Geeky, that wasn't the budget. That's just how much the parts are for this, as we've used them in the build. But the budget was close to 1,000, as close as we can get to 1,000 as possible. Okay, CPU temp is 0. Okay, well, we just wanted to show GPU temp, so I guess we'll have to use this and go from there. Let's see what we can get. Apparently, this just doesn't like the adrenaline doesn't like this stuff. Well, 0 is better than 3 million degrees Celsius. So it doesn't look like it was a GPU tweak issue. It was just I mean, it could be whatever sensor it's reading it or whatever it was, but yeah. I don't know why it's not getting the temp. Because the other thing too is it's just flat out not getting the temp. No, because this is gonna download in time. And I'm curious what a 9060 XT runs at, like from a visual standpoint. 80G, it's not anymore. There's nothing else. The only thing pulling it is adrenaline. So I don't have anything else pulling it. Yeah, but you have to use Afterburner and you have to configure it, Ghost Poner. And sensors are totally fine to read it from any location. Eyeless, this is the thing, right? It's like your sample set is a sample of one, and my sample set is a sample of lots, right? So that's the one thing that's always worth noting, is that we like the number of hardware options and things that we configure. It's just more likely to happen. That's not saying that there's a problem. I'm just saying it's more apt to happen. We've had it without all sorts of things. No, I've actually never finished Cyberpunk. Yeah, and this isn't a dog on AMD or Adrenaline. It's just hey, this is just some things that happen. I've had GPU tweak cause problems. I've had MSI Afterburner have problems. Like, all of them have their issues. That's funny. You guys actually get it before I did. I still don't even see it on my screen. Oh, it's only showing up on the bottom screen. That's weird. Okay, I'm not even getting it on my screen. You guys, luckily you're seeing it. It's not even coming up over. Okay, now it is. Okay. Still not getting CPU temp, but I want to show GPU temp, which is important. CPU temps are going to be 50, 60 anyway, so. Raxus, it'll probably never happen. It's just not because it does. I just have too many other games to play. Okay, let's go into here. Okay, so we're gonna test. So let's go to graph video. So we're 2560 by 1440. We got, we got FSR4, which is awesome. Let's go to balanced. Well, frame generation on. We have ray tracing on, but no sun. So we got some settings. So we'll apply this. And let's just see what it comes out with. So this is 1440p ray traced. Some level of ray tracing. Basically using automatic settings for this to see what it ends up with. So here we go, 85, there we go, 85, 86, so that's completely normal, that's good. 1440p, GPU temp is 49 right now. Yeah, though I have Expedition 33 after Indiana Jones. And I have other games that are coming out this year, so I gotta get through those. So Wind Indian, this is for budget though. So 9070 XT isn't really a budget thing. I mean, it's a great game. I've played like half of it. Yeah, you can definitely, ooh, that was a nice chug there. You can definitely see ray tracing isn't as clean as what we've seen on the other ones. But again, you know what I mean? Like, this is not a high-end GPU, right? That game is awesome. I can cut. And there we go. Yeah, CPU, GPU temps are not a problem. We're sitting 50. So again, this game can totally game. 1440p, 1080p is kind of your target. We saw an average of 88 frames per second, min 75, and yeah, there it goes. We're running high custom, high window borderless with no frame gen, running FSR4. Ray tracing is on, but no reflections, sun shadows, and ray trace lighting. So I'm guessing we could probably do. Let's put on ray trace reflections and see if that does anything. Ray trace lighting, we'll turn this on to medium. We're not gonna turn path tracing. Let's see if we can turn on all the ray tracing and put it on medium. See if this runs. Oh, for sure. Yes, that is for sure happening. In fact, we have a lot of World of Warcraft streams that we've already been doing. Okay, here we go. So this is with ray tracing reflections and stuff now. Okay, so 50, 60 at 1440p. We turn on ray trace lighting too. So yeah, this is definitely gonna have an impact. I want to see what FSR4 could do though. Fable for sure. I'll play, I don't know if I'll get to play, I don't know if I'll stream WoW tonight, but I'll probably play just to get dailies and stuff. Damien is streaming gaming tomorrow. But yeah, you can see the difference. Look at the when we go over the puddles, that's the biggest difference right there, right? See those clean ray trace reflections now. So this is pretty close. Ray tracing has an impact though, right? Especially for these, single player games. And GPU temp is now 48, so still no problem with GPU temp. Okay, there we go. And there it is, guys. That is our budget build for February. Again, focus here was to get his 1,000 with modern component parts, right? Which is the key thing being AM5, DDR5, modern GPUs. If you want to see more like non-modern and you want sub $1,000, you can head over to robeytech.com/deals. We have PC builds for sub $1,000 using less modern. So we're talking about Intel, like older Intel, DDR4, all that sort of stuff as well. Okay, so that is it for today's build. We are back tomorrow with Damien, who's going to be playing some World of Warcraft Midnight Pre-Patch. That's going to be happening tomorrow, starting at 10:30 tomorrow. Then we're back on Wednesday, building in the Silverstone FP02. So I know there's been a lot of love about that build, so that's going to be happening. Really, really cool sleeper build inside of an old classic case. Then it did post, Kurosaki. Miku, I'm going to go get an update on Miku. Hopefully we'll have that information soon. Then we're back on Friday. Intel Live Mod Workshop is back. We're going to be building an Intel Core Ultra 245 plus an Arc B580. We're going to be giving that PC away on the live stream. So make sure you set your alarms. That's going to be Friday at noon Pacific time. Plus we have World of Warcraft game streaming on Thursday as well. So that is it for the rest of the week. We got game streams and build streams all week. Super thank you for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing you guys through the rest of the week. Outside of that, have an absolutely amazing rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys on the next stream. Bye, guys.